In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to write a million a month meta ad scripts in 10 minutes using AI. So, what is the creative philosophy in general? Everything below is based on what we've tested across hundreds of campaigns. The core marketing goal is we want the prospect to instantly feel these guys aren't slightly better, they're in a completely different league. And our marketing should make it obvious that what they tried before never really solved the root issue, and your method is the fastest, safest, least risky path to their end goal. The ad itself has one job, right? It's to get the right people to click, and anything that doesn't push towards that outcome, it gets removed, right? And why this works, the Egon Schwartz reality check. I'm a big fan of his work. So Schwartz said it perfectly. Copy doesn't create desire, it channels desire that already exists, right? So every market already has an existing desire, the dreams, the frustration, the fears, past disappointments, failed attempts, hope for something better. And your job is to speak directly into this existing emotional noise and channel it in your copy that goes to their head. So like the sole goal of the copy here is like when they're reading your copy, when they're watching your video ad, they instantly feel like, hey, this is literally me. Like you're literally walking and reading their mind. The central creative insight is that great ads do two things at the same time. One, explain why everything they've tried before has failed, and show why your approach is the missing key they've never had. That's the whole game. If you focus on those 2 points, your ads will literally hit. So you must know and you must ask yourself, one, what do they really want, right? If you ask 100 people in this niche, what would 80% say instantly? Example, agency owners want qualified calls, high retainer clients, low CAC, and predictability. What have they tried? What moves that they made that did not get them results? Maybe they hired a coach, maybe they paid for a program, maybe they tried to spend the shit money on ads and did not get results. And why didn't those things work? For example, couldn't scale on Facebook, program was a scam, couldn't get the right guidance, no YouTube videos about this, no right guidance. What are they being bombarded with daily? Like what ads, offers, and scripts and pitches do they see every single day on their DMs, on their emails, on their Instagram? Once you know these answers, it becomes easy to write ads that feel new, feel different, feel superior, and avoid I've heard this before syndrome. Because the moment, and this is very important by the way, the moment someone can label you as the same as X, you've already lost them. Because categorization is death. All right? Categorization is death. And if there's one sentence that you would actually extract from this video and just keep it in mind, it's this sentence. Here's what you should do before scripting. Here's the exact list of questions you should ask your clients or prospects on sales calls, or even now, so you can get clean, accurate, non-assumed feedback that allows you to write killer ads that scale. All right. The biggest thing here is when we're writing those ads, I'm assuming you guys are watching this video, you already have at least, 10 to 20 clients. What happens here is we do not want to assume at all, because the moment we start assuming, you will start translating that into your copy and then publishing it on ads, and it will not resonate with your audience, right? So the biggest thing, like I could have swore the amount of time I've actually assumed something based on a ChatGPT prompt or based on like something I've actually calculated in my mind. It seemed 100% perfect sense. And as soon as I put that message out there, it just didn't convert. And the reason why is because it's not coming from my current clients that are giving me this feedback. These questions pull out the pains, desires, the objections, the failed attempts, what they're sick of, what they actually want, what they fear, and the exact language they use. And this is gold because you can turn this into ads, and I'll show you exactly how, right? So the thing is, like, this is something that you do want to ask on sales call, right? This is like you want to go back to the sales recording and actually pull the transcript, and you want to start asking new customers as well. So even clients before they become clients on the sales call. And if you've actually, sold them and did not go through this phase, you can actually send the feedback for them to actually fill. So you just want to ask the client, like, what was their current situation before they came to you or on the sales call? These questions help you understand where they are right now. Like, tell me what you're doing right now for client acquisition, or what were you doing before you came to us? How much were you spending on ads? What's working right now and what's not? Walk me through your current process, start to finish, right? Where does it break? Where do you feel the bottleneck is? And again, you can actually, switch the language here to the if the client is a client ready, or literally start asking them on a sales call. Now you want to ask them their pain, right? What's the number thing pissing you off about your current system? What feels the most inconsistent? What's the part you absolutely hate doing? Where do you feel like you're wasting time or money? When do you last think, bro, I cannot keep doing this? If nothing changes in the next 90 days, what happens? These actually give you pain hooks. You can directly translate that into copy. Their desired outcome, right? What would their dream look like for you? If you could wave a magic wand 90 days from now, what numbers do you want? What's the client volume that feels perfect to you? What would predictable growth mean to you personally? And again, you can ask all of those questions. You can ask just one question or two questions from each category, just so you can actually understand how you can fuel your copy, right? Category number 4, what they've tried and why it failed. What have you tried before? Again, you're going to get a lot of clients saying they've hired agencies before, or they hired some staff member and they ended up firing because they underperformed or they wasted a lot of money, right? What were you promised that did not happen? How long did you stick with it before quitting? Those are so important because this gives you ammo to differentiate you in the copy. Category number 5, what they don't want to do, right? It's like this is so important because when we're actually getting to write the copy, which you'll see in a moment, we're going to have a without clause, right? This literally kind of fuels your copy and puts your copy on steroids to resonate with your audience so it actually converts visitors to actual clients, right? This helps you to craft your without statements. You got to ask, what's something you absolutely do not want to do again? What feels too complicated or annoying? What would you remove from your workflow if you could do this? What's something you've been avoiding because it sucks? These become will help you get X without doing Y. And this statement is so important. Again, I'll show you everything in a moment. This will all make sense at the end. Their buying criteria, why they buy, why they feel like, why they actually bought from you, or why they did not buy from you, right? Ask, what will make you 100% feel confident in the solution? What will make you say yes instantly, or what did actually made you say yes? What were your biggest fears when working with someone new, or when you started to work with us? What's the worst case scenario? And again, you can start asking those questions because this will help us build the risk reversal and credibility statements. Okay, every category serves a purpose. Number 7, the language, right? This is where the magic happens. You want to ask how you would describe the problem in your own words. Like literally, what's the language they're using to describe their problem? Because you can literally pull the same 101 sentence that they've actually told you on the sales call or as a client on, like, you can have a Fathom note taker or on Slack, just copy the exact same message and then you can put it in the copy because this is like what your clients are saying. And this is particularly common in most of your clients and why they bought the service. So if you put the right sentence in the copy, the same exact sentence, you will notice that a lot of your customers and a lot of actual viewers of the ads will resonate with the ad. When you talk to your team about this, what do you say? If you had to explain this pain to a friend, how would you put it? Right? Again, those questions you can ask them. You can screenshot this, and it's linked in the description. You can ask your clients so you can really understand why they went with your service. Number 8, the reaction to your offer. This is like instant feedback. Like, what part of this feels most valuable to you? What part didn't really matter? What was confusing? What sounded too good to be true? What do you want to know more? And this helps you refine your messaging and highlight the right features. Number 9, there is success meaning, right? This is like the personal impact. This gives you like an emotional storyline. And you got to ask if this actually, if this actually works, what changes, right? What would scaling solve in your personal life? What pressures will disappear if this finally works? This becomes the emotional backbone of your ads, right? And lastly, but not least, there are hell no points. Like, avoid losing them. This is when you ask what instantly makes you say no to someone. This is so important. What makes you distrust companies in this space? What mistakes do agencies always make? These will help you avoid triggering red flags in your scripts, like certain keywords, certain statements, certain claims you should stay away from just because your clients have said that to you, right? And this section alone, this page alone is so important because you get to realize how much value, right, your clients can give as a feedback so you can get more clients from ads, right? This section, if alone, if you can plug the answers into Manus or ChatGPT, you will be able to create your 7-8 figure script. So now that we've actually got those questions answered, we want to take a look at the creative framework, right? Now, there's a lot of creative frameworks out there. Mine's personally inspired by someone in the space called Kybax. I've actually followed his scripts to really generate and print money, and it has been working for me personally. So I've refined a little bit of here so you can guys take a look at it. Right. So the biggest thing here, number one, is to grab attention in the first 10 seconds, right? Your hook should be call out the exact niche, call out the revenue level or situation, either tap into a core pain, acknowledge your current frustration, mention the desired outcome, include a hint of risk reversal, borrow authority if possible, hint at your mechanism. Your goal is to make the right person feel the video was made specifically for them, right? And the biggest famous, one here is just asking the question, are you agency problem? Are you, XYZ market call out suffering from XYZ problem? Number two is we gotta use the without lines. Again, this is something that we've actually talked about before. And this is where you remove what they hate, the stuff they think they have to do, right? An example concept will get you X result without more ad platforms, without more sellers, without more closers, without or new funnels, right? This is literally comes from what your clients have actually answered the feedback based on your questions, right? These lines do three things: they break patterns, right? They remove skepticism. They spark curiosity. Okay, like how does this work without this? Like I haven't seen this before. And it makes the offer feel like something they've never seen, which is a very big component for differentiation and not being able to be categorized. Number three is to back up every bold claim with proof, right? I'm assuming if you have 10 clients, like you already, have at least, top 3 case studies, right? You got to assume the default reaction, like, yeah, right. So you immediately want to show specific client results, numbers, timelines, and outcomes, named examples, track record, and remember, specificity always beats generalization. So here's a weak statement. We helped the client get better results. Here's a strong statement. We added $400,000 in 30 days for a client doing XYZ, right? And for better, you can actually name the client, right? Literally name the client from what company and what agency, right? Because a lot of gurus out there, a lot of people putting out ads out there are just pussies who won't put the client name and put the actual results because they've never actually done results. So they stick with a weak headline of we help the client get better result. And eventually their ad does not get the most conversions that they actually expect because they're just not authentic. Your proof should mirror exactly the goal your ideal client wants. If they're at $20,000 a month and want $100,000 a month, you want to show 100 to 300, 150K to 500K, not 5K to 20K, because it makes your promise plausible. And here's the thing you don't understand, right? Let's say like your offer is, you're helping agency owners go from 20K to 100K a month. You literally want to show based on your case studies, like the top 0.1% of clients going from 100K to 300K, 150K to 300K, because they actually see, I'm like, okay, if they were getting these results, I'm sure this can work for me, right? And it's like the pyramid, right? If you look at the pyramid, if you speak to the top 3%, naturally you're going to attract the rest, right? That's why the case studies, if can and if possibly, can be focused on your top client results, not necessarily the clients that you do want to attract, right? Number four is the optional soft close, right? CTA. So some people are ready immediately, like in the first 15 to 20 seconds of your ad. So you can actually add a gentle pointer. So if you're a niche, if you're, plumbing, whatever company, and this already makes sense for you, you can click the link below and book a call, right? This is literally comes at the 25% of your video. It boosts CTR without feeling pushed, right? This is like something you can actually put on the boost CTR, and it might be necessary to actually put as a light CTA. Now, after you actually do that, you want to start explaining why your mechanism, why this is different and better than somebody else. This is where you kind of earn trust, right? You break down what's your current unique angle mechanism, how it works, why it outperforms what they're currently doing, why it's easier, safer, and more predictable. This is the most important part. Different but harder won't sell. Different but risky won't sell. Your message must be different, safer, more effective, and less effort, right? If you actually know the client, if you actually know the Hermosa equation, right, it's literally the same as this. So if you can portray that in your ad, you'll make it irresistible for them not to click the button. The final CTA, which is the crystal clear next step, by the end, your best prospect should know exactly what to do. You got to requalify them and state the action plainly, which is so if you're ideal client and you want a specific outcome, click the link below and book a call. That's it, like a small qualifier before you actually move all the people into the funnel, right? So how to actually use all of this with AI to write scripts, right? Personally, I use a mix of both between ChatGPT and Manus, right? Some people use Claude, that's okay. But for me, I think currently I'm about 50-50 with ChatGPT and Manus just because Manus sometimes really kind of fucks up your answer. And so ChatGPT really, kind of make sure it supports the logic behind your prompt. So what you want to do as a prompt, you want to tell Manus, for example, fully ingest this document, right? And you can actually download it, link in the description, to understand how to create ads, right? Create 3 ad variations with 5 different hooks, each for, and then you want to insert your offer. Make sure to follow the framework written in the document. Make the source of the copy coming from the feedback of the client so it 100% resonates with your audience. And the biggest thing about Manus here, you can attach as much as documents as possible, as much as transcripts as possible. With ChatGPT, this is its weak point. So I prefer you guys, if you do have a lot of transcripts and client recordings, you go with Manus, right? And number 3 is a special bonus for you guys is to use the templates below. You can actually use one of the templates below. Template one, again, this is inspired by Kai Bax. Niche doing over X amount a month will guarantee you an extra offer in the next 8 days. Put it down for you, or you want to insert the risk reversal. You can literally copy one of those templates, right? There's like 5 templates, or you can do them all, put them inside of Manus and ChatGPT, and literally paste this to prompt, and you'll get answers, and you will get ready to produce ad scripts for you that will generate you and print you money. You might want to apply some edits on them, of course, and have a little bit of personal touch, and then you're good to go. All right. If you guys enjoyed this video, subscribe, leave a like, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Basically, our offer is we help agencies and high-ticket B2B brands scale to 5 to 10K a day in ad spend while acquiring clients for 1 to 2K in CAC predictably and profitably. So if you do want help, just email me at my personal email, and I'll see you in the next one.